23 Characteristics of True Humanity, Achim, the 16th of August 2025. Excerpted from CR 916, Saturday, the 23rd of August 2025, 6:47 HRS.
1. To be a true human being means not allowing yourself to be disturbed from your inner calm, mental and emotional harmony, and inner peace under any circumstances, regardless of what may also happen in your own personality or outside in the world. This is also associated with inner values such as modesty, anti-materialism, optimism, patience, perseverance, and tenacity in self-evolution. 2. To be a true human being in the truthful and real sense of the word means to realize daily that one's own self lives and evolves in all spaces and times as well as in all universes and dimensions in relative perfection and in unity with the great whole, the creation. Universal consciousness. The human being is completely free and self-responsible in all things, situations and decisions of his life, because there never was and never will be a creator God who rules over human beings, because he only exists in the delusional thoughts of human beings. 3. The true human being consciously strives to constantly evolve in the awareness of his creational being and out of its power, and to create true knowledge, true love, and timelessly valid wisdom within himself, thereby developing himself, his life energy of creation that animates him, and thus the creation as a whole. Through his constant conscious learning, he jot-alike contributes to the evolution of everything, up to the highest forms of creation, and ultimately up to the sane absolutum, in higher swinging waves. 4. The human being in the true sense of the word fundamentally forms an effective self-love within himself. Building on this, in the awareness and knowledge of living and coexisting in everything, he gradually creates the all-encompassing and indestructible love for the entire nature of creation and for all life forms and everything that exists within it, and continues to cultivate this universal life form within himself. 5. The deep meaning of human being is contained in the term Omedam, which means law and fulfiller, and is synonymous with the fact that human beings respect the laws of creation and fulfill its recommendations, which are wise recommendations for action and practical life instructions, as well as signposts on their path to true humanity. Everything necessary about this is written down in the teaching of truth, teaching of creation energy, teaching of life, or in the goblet of the truth. 6. True human beings never indulge in quarrels, queries, aggression, violence, murder, manslaughter or war, etc., and do not allow themselves to be involved in war services ordered by degenerate state leaders, because war and raw, selfish and dehumanized violence in every respect are always illogical, cruel, destructive, and contrary to creation, whereby none blocks the path to true human being and to his true destiny. 7. The true human being respects and honors all life, and all fellow human beings is absolutely equal, because he knows that every single human being carries a spark of creation life energy in his innermost being, which is destined to evolve over unimaginably long periods of time, through the enlivenment of ever-new human beings, each with ever-new personalities, until he reaches his goal of becoming one with creation itself. 8. The true human being is aware that development will not stand still afterwards either, because creation universal consciousness, as the lowest of the 1049 forms of creation, each of which exists in infinite numbers, must also continue to develop itself further and higher over unimaginably long periods of time, in order to one day merge with the highest of the 7 absolutum forms, the Sign Absolutum, whose evolution will also continue into all infinity. 9. This knowledge is inherent in the true human being through the teaching of truth, teaching of creation energy, teaching of life, and the certainty of his high destiny in him is both an incentive and a joy. He knows that he must always follow the path of evolution of his consciousness and his creation energy in his daily life, for the evolution of human beings progresses in many small steps, which he must take purposefully and by making many mistakes, but from which he learns and thereby progresses further. 10. The true human being knows that every serious endeavor and every success on his path to true humanity remains in his consciousness, or in the creation life energy that enlivens him or her as impulse energy. This is why he cultivates the values of true human being every day, whereby the strong tree of the personality or noble character of a true human being ultimately grows from many initially inconspicuous thought seeds, insights, and ideas. 11. Creation energy teaching symbol. Humanity. 12. A true human being does not judge other human beings and does not elevate himself above their faults, weaknesses, and character defects. They do observe human beings and recognize their faults, but they do so in a completely neutral wise. 13. He learns from this for himself by examining himself and recognizing whether he has the same faults, after which he analyzes and neutralizes them. He observes human beings in order to recognize himself. The human being never passes judgment on other human beings and remains silent about their mistakes, but learns from them. After all, correcting mistakes is always fundamentally the individual human being's own business and task. 14. The true human being never places himself above another human being, or considers himself better than another, because he is aware that all human beings are connected to each other through the creational universal energy, in timelessness, and through all spaces of creation. The human being is therefore in truth mocking himself when he deceives or blasphemes other human beings. 15. The true human being is always grateful to creation and all of nature in honor. He knows that the innermost part of creation will always remain an immeasurable mystery to him as a human being, so that it is harmful and hinders his evolution if, in a fit of megalomania, he allows himself to be carried away into wanting to unravel the mystery of creation's innermost being. He therefore exercises patience and works with appropriate modesty on his evolution, which is the highest reward and price of life for him. 16. If a human being wants to be a true human being, he must first of all teach himself in all things of true humanity and dedicate his respect, his thinking, feeling, pondering, and meditating to the laws of universal consciousness, which require him to develop within himself the luminous values of true humanity, so that they may shine ever more strongly and powerfully within him. 17. The true human being only teaches other human beings when they ask him for advice and help, and when he has enabled himself to teach through a certain amount of knowledge and wisdom. The human being then gives his help to the other person in a humble, objective, and neutral manner, and without using any illogical force or coercion. The true human being reveals only the pure truth to the seeking human being in a neutral, counseling, kind and appropriate and tolerable form, as help for self-help, after which the fellow human being seeking help can continue to work on his own responsibility and continue on his path under his own power. 18. Being a true human being means being able to take a step back and listen when other human beings are moved by something they would like to share. The true human being never places himself at the center of attention and does not seek recognition, adulation, and worldly fame, because these are all values that inhibit the evolution of his consciousness. 19. The true human being only reveals some of his creational knowledge when he is asked for it, or when it is necessary to clarify a fact or denounce an injustice, etc., that is contrary to human being. Then he often has to use harsh, offensive, and clear words, that ruthlessly expose the misbehavior of a human being, but which are never directed against his value as a human being per se, because the human being is and always remains inviolable in his dignity as a part of creation. 20. The true human being takes care of his physical health and avoids all extremes with regard to his diet, the care and maintenance of his body. The human being cultivates a connecting relationship with other human beings and nature. The human being also cherishes and nurtures his thoughts and feelings in a neutral, positive, balanced way, and always remains neutral towards himself and other human beings, thus maintaining his inner balance, preserving his health, and prolonging his life so that he can consciously evolve for as long as possible. 21. A true human being lives in great joy and gratitude that he is animated by a part of the creation life energy, which the creation itself has created, and which enables him and the human beings who come after him, who are animated by this life energy of creation, to evolve into true human beings. He knows that he is responsible for everything in his life, and that there is no creator God, but only creation, the universal consciousness alone, which has created and continues to create everything. Knowing this makes him happy, joyful, and inwardly free, and allows him to consciously organize every day as a holiday, in the creational sense, on his individual path to true humanity. 22. The true human being cultivates and engages daily in healthy, neutral, and intentional meditation or contemplation in order to find peace within himself, to balance his consciousness and his psyche, and to listen to the creational impulses from his innermost being that are embedded in the depths of his consciousness. By consciously heeding and nurturing the creational impulses and his intuition, and by consciously forming high human values within himself, he treads the path of true humanity. 23. The true human being knows that his personal evolutionary path also does not end with his death, because in the life of death, the creation life energy processes all the knowledge, wisdom, and love he has acquired so far into higher values. The quintessence of all true knowledge, all wisdom, and all love is impulsively passed on to the unconscious of the next, completely new human being in the evolutionary line of creation life energy, whereby the uninterrupted evolution of creation life energy and the human beings who animate it is guaranteed by the wise laws of creation at all times and in full, until they merge with creation and beyond to the absolute being.